to pave the way in awakening our national consciousness. And for those in the fields of education, the church, law, medicine, engineering, politics, and the arts, who came from Calabar and have devoted their time and energy to building Jamaica during the past 60 years of our nationhood. Secondly, I want to congratulate the Florida chapter on its dedication to keeping alive the call of Calabar by your worthy activities to support our school, even during the COVID pandemic. In convening this annual general meeting, you will be discharging your constitutional requirements. But more so, I hope it will be a tool to continue your seminal contribution for those boys who are privileged to enter the hallowed grounds of the school, to which we as old boys owe so much. Let me warmly commend your president and his entire board for the comprehensive 2020 to 2022 report it has produced, which sets out the array of support you have provided and satisfies the need for proper accountability to your members. Each of us owes an incalculable debt to Calabar, which compels us to find whatever way we can to restoring Calabar as the first school of choice for the young boys who we implore to follow in the footsteps of each and every one of us who have benefited from the tutelage we received there and helped us to excel in our chosen fields of human endeavor. Only last week, we learned with pride that Professor John Paul Clark, a distinguished old boy, was appointed to serve as a member of the NASA Advisory Council. At the same time, Chris Taylor and Oblique Seville were scorching the tracks in Oregon, continuing like Wint and McKinley to bring glory to their school and to Jamaica. Each of us can tell our own story and render our personal accounts as to how Calabar transformed us from boys to men. As students there, we acquired a solid grounding in the basics of the essential subjects within a cultural infrastructure and a healthy environment for learning and civic development. We enjoyed a high quality of instruction and demonstrated a corresponding high quality of academic work as students. There was a clear delineation between work and play. Remember, it was written on our exercise books, when you play, play hard. When you work, don't play at all. What mattered most were the instincts it instilled in us, an encouragement to think for oneself and to express oneself freely, an environment in which one could pursue one's talent and strengths with determination. We left school with a conviction that one could accomplish anything that one strived for in a disciplined manner. No one has to expound here as to the social problems we face, not only in Jamaica, but the Caribbean and the hemisphere to which we belong. Nor should it be necessary to dwell on the crisis which looms particularly for the young male of color in our island and almost everywhere. Let us never forget that Calabar was created to enable its students to make their own distinctive mark on the contours of our nation, our region, and the world at large. Calabar was conceived and has thrived on building men of steel, full of zeal for the wider life to be. To promote this in the Calabar student for the future, we have to provide a campus that is aesthetically pleasing to foster excellence. We need to ensure that the financial resources are in place to support the highest standards of educational and extracurriculum instruction. In this age, we have to use modern technology that enhances the process of teaching and learning. If we are to have a motivated teaching staff, we need to invest in our teachers. We have to activate participation in outreach activities in Jamaica for our work to be respected. All of this demands effective management by the Calabar School Administration of the entire process in driving the standards of academic excellence to the very highest levels. To secure all of this requires an investment of energy, of technology, and undoubtedly some money. We need every penny we can get, every cent you can find, but we need even more a passionate commitment to help our students grow from boyhood. Some initiatives have already been undertaken over the past few years to improve the teaching and learning environment at Calabar. They include an upgrade of the school's physics, chemistry, and robotics laboratories, the installation of a modern sports complex, and the implementation of full internet connectivity right across the entire campus. In addition to improving the appearance of the campus, the new gateway will also provide increased security. There is an abundance of urgent needs, of scholarships, bursaries, prizes, money to help our students from poor families, additional classrooms, equipment for laboratories, and provision of computers. If we can't return to boarding just now, a hostel is required for special teams undergoing training. I believe Old Boys chapters should concentrate on specific areas of their choice. You have already made yours. Let me commend your executive board for the designation of the Calabar, Florida Alumni Health and Wellness Program, which gives you a wide open space for your health. This is no time for any lion to be hiding in the bushes. We are on the hunt to rebuild our school and fully restore its pristine glory by always giving the utmost for the highest. Personally, I regard whatever one can afford as payback time. It is not philanthropy. It is not charity, but an investment to foster fame and fortune of our school. So today, and oh, if ever, duty's voice is ringing clear, bidding men to great endeavor. We will answer, we are here. I trust and firmly believe you will continue to respond in resounding fashion during your annual general meeting and beyond to the call of Calabar. Come what will, good or ill, we will answer, we are here.
Thank you, Prime Minister. I have to clap for everybody because everybody's muted, but stirring words and a positive message to set us on, keep us on the right course, to charge, to energize the Calabar diaspora to, as you say, invest in the youth and invest in Calabar. I thank you. I thank you for giving us this time during the Independence Weekend. And I thank you for your love of Calabar, sir.
Thank you too.
Okay. Let me share my screen and so that was a stirring speech from the Prime Minister. I want to again thank him, and we are in his debt for joining us this evening and this busy week in Jamaica. Now we'd like to welcome the president of the PTA, Mr. Ainsworth Carroll, to provide us with some updates from his association. And it's very important to hear from folks on the ground in Jamaica in terms of what are their challenges, or let me first start on what are their successes, but more present is what are their challenges and what can we do in the Calabar diaspora to help Calabar proceed, as the Prime Minister has so eloquently stated. Mr. Carroll, are you there?
Yes, sir. Here, sir. Here, sir. Here, sir. All right. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to address the Calabar Old Boys Association, Calabar, Florida chapter. You have scheduled the running order is really interesting. You're putting me to speak after a great orator, like most honorable Percival James Paterson. One of my first vivid memories of our esteemed Calabar Old Boys, I was attending a parliament session. And I remember somebody was messing with him in parliament. And the most honorable Percival J. Paterson said, "If you bowl me a short ball, I will hit you over the boundary for 6. That has never, ever left my mind. But thank you very much. All protocols observed. The current administration was voted in February 17th. I have the honor of leading that team with 3 Calabar Old Boys who are my vice presidents. I will say that Kenneth Lawrence is first vice president and Ludlow Barker is second vice president. So we have a top management team of Calabar Old Boys. And I like to think of ourselves as invested Calabar Old Boys, because that we are, everyone in the room on the call now, we are invested Calabar Old Boys. And it's important to make that distinction, because let me tell you something. I chose to send my son to Calabar. My son could have gone to any high school he wanted. You know, having gone through prep school and finished top 3 percentile in the country in PEP and so on and so forth. But I wanted to give back to my alma mater. And as a consequence, he went to Calabar High School. Things have been rocky. It's an adjustment, but nevertheless, I am here and I'm here to do as much work as it takes. I ran my candidacy on 4 pillars: excellence in education, right? Infrastructural development, wellness and social health, and of course, brand management. I think that if I could just piggyback on what most honorable said, we have excelled in a number of areas as Calabar Old Boys, and Calabar is a big brand. Make no mistake about it. But as with many other things in life, we have an excellent brand, and our administration doesn't really live up to the brand that we have. I'm not, well, let me finish. I think that it is time for us to have professional brand management of the brand Calabar. We need a marketing manager to put together a communications business plan for the school so that we tell our story and appear and get ahead of issues when they arise. We are in rivalry, serious rivalry with other schools in the corporate area when it comes to attracting students from PEP in terms of the better grades, in terms of vying for teachers. We have a teacher retention problem. Most schools, but people actively headhunting. And sometimes they do take opportunities to take snipes at us in the media and so on. We have to get ahead of the problem. So you ask how we can help. I'm not asking for money this time. My esteemed colleague, brother, handle that. But if we have somebody in marketing who could liaise with us, liaise with the school to have a professional brand management program put in place to manage the brand that is Calabar, right? In terms, so we have been working at the PTA to carry some of these issues across. And the very first issue that was confronted by us was face-to-face classes, teachers and students returning from the pandemic, and the realization that the socialization of our students was totally undone. So those, remember, you have some first formers who for 2 years they have not seen the Calabar campus. And you have other grade students who were coming back after 2 years of being at home, doing online classes, doing what they want to do, and so on and so forth. And it has led to a lot of deviant behaviors. I remember in that period between September and March, there were around 4 high school boys who were killed during that period. And it is part of the deviant behavior. A number of high school girls came back to school pregnant, right? And what we did, right, we got adolescent psychologist, Dr. Leiber, from out of the Ministry of Health, to address our parents and to address our teachers. But that was just one session. We need much more of that. If you have any adolescent psychologists in your chapter or know any, these are some things that can help us, because the most notable thing coming out of those sessions was that you need to get your boys engaged in extracurricular activity to get rid of nervous anxiety, right? But it's something that has to be reinforced. And I would like to also say that our teachers have had transitional issues as well. So it is good to have, persons speaking with them in the form of a seminar, in the form of any one-on-one, whatever assistance in terms of professional help, right, that can come from the chapter, we would really, really appreciate, right? And, I spoke earlier about teacher retention. It's a serious, serious problem across Jamaica with the brain drain, as they would like to say it. If I had anything, I would have created an industry out of it, train teachers and export them. But nevertheless, we are not here to speak about that. Sir PJ, I hope that what I just said, can have some traction. We can export teachers, I know. But nevertheless, teacher retention is a big problem at Calabar. And with schools actively headhunting, we have to protect the school from losing active, good, effective, efficient teachers. One such teacher is the teacher who is responsible for digital media. I'm sure if you were paying attention, you'd have seen that Calabar had probably the top 2 out of 3 students across the Caribbean in digital media, right? And what we would love to have done is a retention program, an active retention program. We need to have a plan. And that segues nicely in terms of not trying to frustrate our teachers. In terms of our computing system or network, it was developed over time like a Frankenstein monster. So you keep on adding pieces and adding pieces and adding pieces. What we need is a network engineer to look at our system and create an architecture which can be phased, incorporating what we already have in place with an intention to expand. If you know any network engineers who can do this type of thing, come down, let us look at the system, let us design something, then I, for one, would truly appreciate it, and of course, the school, right? But nevertheless, even outside of having a large project like that, we are in need of computers. I have the specifications. I can send those specifications to you if you wish, and then we can do some sort of drive, right? In order to procure these computers, replace old ones, obsolete ones, and let our teachers have a little less, reduce their frustration levels, right? And it is very important. We partnered with COBA to do Teachers Day, and from all reports, it was thoroughly enjoyed by all. But we ought to be doing more for our teachers, right? And then there are some simple little things. I do believe that, with most organizations, things are complex, but I have always learned if you don't have the requisite skills, you go and buy skills to sit around a negotiating table. We have some contracts at school. I don't think I'm telling tales out of class, pardon the pun. But we have entered into some contracts. For instance, our canteen contract. You have 1,600 boys captive, and you're serving lunch within an hour and a half. I don't have to say anymore. It is complete chaos, right? Complete chaos. In recent times, it has improved. We wrote a letter to the principal. We have been invited to the canteen meetings and so on and so forth. And we have been making some suggestions, and those suggestions, have been implemented and so on. So it has improved. But I do believe that at the start of a contract, you have to have a robust SLA, and you ought to hold people accountable to the SLA that they put in place, right? Now, simple things like that. I have found that having a Calabar old boy intervene in issues carries it a far way. For 2 years, the PTA bank account has not been transferred. And one call to a prominent old boy who is the chairman of that bank resolved the issue within a week, right? And I don't see no reason why the canteen issue can't be resolved that quickly. You're teaching our boys to be hustlers, to be, all right, let me leave it there. I don't know what PG rating this meeting is. So I just leave it there, right? So those are 2 things. We definitely need a teachers retention program, and in terms of our wellness, right? In terms of our branding, and of course, right, we want to ensure that our students get the best environment to facilitate learning, because we are in fact first an academic institution, right, that excels in sports. And for those of you on the call, my friends Kurt Daly and Daniel England, we were a part of the 1986 track team. You know that I'm a sports fanatic with Calabar, because I think that the sporting arm of Calabar raises awareness, raises our brand, builds our brand, and facilitates other investments coming into the school, right? So in terms of excellence in education as well, I would just like to alert you that the PTA is planning to do an educational fair in October, where we will invite parents and their wards, their children, to come in. We'll have career booths, we'll have cadets on display. We're planning to have a real big extravaganza. I don't want to go too much in it now. I'll keep you apprised, but we are in the stages of planning and collaborating with the school and so on and so forth to have this educational fair really take off. So just in summary, I'd like to say that how you can help, apart from the eloquence and elegance of language from most honorable, that I cannot hope to follow. From the PTA standpoint, we need our teachers retention program. I'm sure that you'll have management scientists in your group. We need the help with that. In terms of our infrastructure, right now, I would love to see a properly designed architecture for our network so that we can be efficient and effective in delivering ICT services, right? Brand management is very, very important. I think that, you know, it perhaps perceptionally trumps all. We need to manage brand Calabar. You know, there's a funny story, if you'll just permit me one more minute. A young man came back from pen relays and he came home with a phone and his mother called, Mr. Carroll, my son got to foreign and thief phone, him shoplift. And I said, what you talking about? Yes, him shoplift, him thief a phone. I said, no. When the athletes go to pen relays, old boys will buy phone supplies and other things and give to them. And her response was, then them really buy a phone more expensive than a fridge? You know, so you know, I'm saying that to say this. Brand Calabar is very important. And there are pockets that are there that are willing to contribute. And I'm not only asking for financial contributions, I'm asking for an investment in time. So those are the areas that I think that we can immediately make an impact. And I will rely on you. I've made a contact with Paterson, and we will continue to speak. Kurt Daly and Daniel England are my friends, and I'm sure I recognize one or two other names. So I'm here. I have one term. We're planning to review the Constitution because you can't do nothing in 1 year, as well as other things. But you know, those are my remarks. And I thank you again for inviting me. And I'm available for discussions and plans and whatever else to help for the Calabar High School, the August institution that has helped me through my life. And I will always say the utmost for the highest. Thank you.
Thank you, Ainsworth. Thank you. And I want to, on behalf of the board and our members, thank you for your service and time at Calabar, doing your presidency as the PTA. Again, let me go back to, so Ainsworth, we will keep in touch. And if there are any members, just to keep the clock rolling on the meeting, if there are anybody has any questions, they can shoot it in the chat. I will copy it, or they can send an email to president@cbarfla.org, and we will get that information to Ainsworth. So it's good to hear directly from folks down on the ground. As I always like to say, I have up on the screen now, our mission is basically to help Calabar and also, you know, help them directly, fundraising, and also, you know, build a camaraderie and mutual beneficial relationship amongst the alumni here in the diaspora. And I always want to say that we're looking for the 3 T's. Give us some talent, your time, or your treasures, a little bit of your treasures, your funding, money. And what I'd like to do now is just in the essence of time, I'm going to quickly go through and just get everybody caught up on what the chapter has been doing. I'd like to start and pay homage to all those board members before the current board that has laid the groundwork and the foundation for us by incorporation as a Florida nonprofit, and then going on to file the for as a charitable organization under the Internal Revenue Service. All of these just lays a solid foundation for our nonprofit status, and basically giving our nonprofit legs, which we can maximize the funding, okay, and try to get funds. And what we have tried to do since 2020 is build on that to you know, basically get your nonprofit credibility out there. We have applied, and we are a Google nonprofit. What that means, it simply means that all the fees of our domain, email boxes, and suite of Google products are waived. You know, it may just come to $50-$60 a month that's waived, but $50 and $60 is about maybe you know, Winston would calculate it for me, but that could be about 25 lunches per month, or you can equate it to something else. So every dollar counts, just as the Prime Minister just says. Going around clockwise, we are in the GuideStar is an organization that is a clearinghouse for nonprofits in the US, right? If you're not on GuideStar, then the benefactors out there can't find you, and it just boosts our presence as a nonprofit also. We submitted our documents and right away got approval for the bronze seal. That was in 2020. PayPal Giving Fund, it's another application there. If you become a part of PayPal Giving Fund, they reduce the transaction fees from maybe 3-point-something% to 2-point-something. But that is significant when you're talking about a donation of $2,000, $5,000, that's a significant amount of fees. And we are also have a charitable list on Amazon, which is the picture down below. Continuing with the PayPal Giving Fund, it just gets our name out there. There's actually, if you're using PayPal and you're checking out, there's the ability to choose up a charity and amount you want to donate. So again, those are the things we're building on to kind of flex our nonprofit muscle. The other things we want to try to remind members of is if your company that you're working for has a matching plan, all right? They normally, larger companies, even smaller companies, they match your contribution dollar for dollar. And we have a few members that we have taken advantage of this, and we have gotten twice the impact out of it. But all of that is for naught if you don't register with one of these two large organizations here, Benevity and Your Cause. Those are organizations, those are companies nonprofit companies that work with larger companies, smaller companies, and they facilitate the giving from corporate. And so we have signed up with these two organizations, direct deposit, the funds come directly into our account when an employee of theirs donates to Calabar. And since 2020, in terms of what we have supplied to GuideStar, which is now Candid, we are now at the gold level of transparency. We submitted some more documents to show how transparent we are and some of the other documentation that they've asked for. The only level higher than this is platinum, and platinum requires a financial audit from an auditing company, and that's the only step we have to go. So if we have an auditor, a CPA out there who could do our auditing for us and save us a fee to ask somebody to do our auditing, the platinum is is just the next step up. But gold is certainly a very good achievement. So I always ask, why not Calabar Alumni Florida? Make Calabar Alumni Florida one of the choices of your charity. Just like how you have Food for the Poor, you have Red Cross, etc. Why not Calabar, Florida? And we believe in the 3 tenants, and the board has we have talked about this over and over, and every action that we do, we try to follow these 3 tenants: transparency, accountability, and convenience. All right? We're pretty much transparent. We're on our website is a one-stop shop for all the information. Sorry, the website listing there is actually repeated as the Instagram, but our website, very easy to remember, cbarfla for Florida.org. And everything is on there. Our email addresses, our phone number, all the activities, the backup, the receipts, the videos, the testimonials, everything is on there. And I'm asking folks to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The more followers we have, the more that we can do. All right? Transparency, just an example of transparency. At the end of 2020, we had our end of year giving campaign. We put out a goal for $5,000. We followed up right through the process. We informed the donors of what they raised. We surpassed that with $7,300. We thank the donors. We acknowledge the donors, and that's very important to us. It's more than just manners. It's showing a deep appreciation for folks who have parted from their monies to give back. So again, this is the treasures for the 3 T's, but again, time and talent, as Ainsworth just says that he's looking for talent in terms of, well, and time in terms of a marketing person, in terms of a network person. With regards to showing another example of transparency, our Teachers Appreciation Day, which is normally coordinated by the DC chapter, he reaches out to all the other chapters and said, what can you put in for the Teachers Day? And we're trying to make this an annual event. In 2021, our goal was 1,600. We raised 2,200, and we acknowledge the folks again. We displayed the thank you letter from the principal, and so it is important that donors see the actual outcome, so that they know that there's trust there, and if there's trust there are donors that will willingly support every time. And so this is very important in our, and accountability. This is part of the accountability. This is a program for us to get on some USBs.
Good day, Florida chapter of the Calabar Boys Association. On behalf of the 6th Form body, we would like to thank you for the donations you have given. Don't drive upwards, which will help us through the process of our disputes. We thank you once more and continue to answer the call of Calabar. Thank you. Good day, Florida chapter of the Calabar.
All right. So while we preach and we ask folks at the school to get us videos, get us testimonial, it's not that we want to see just do that. We want to show the donors the end result at all times, because this just builds accountability and trust.
These thumb drives, they will surely help us complete and secure our school-based assessment. Thank you for answering the call of Calabar, and we will continue to give our utmost for the items.
Again, you know, accountability, showing the end result, that can only help us out in reaching donors and getting the word out and for folks to be able to rely on us to, if we can, and we have seen it. We have seen proof that folks have come aboard because they have seen the solid organization of the chapter, and they have willingly, some have gone for monthly donation. Some know that as soon as we put out the call, they do not hesitate, all because they're seeing the efforts, they're seeing the results, they're seeing the transparency. But one of the most important things is convenience. We have to make it convenient for folks. So that's why we have everything on our website. Everything is there. You want to know the address, you want to know who to make it out to, just go to our website, ladies and gentlemen. Just go to our website. Everything is there. Our chapter number, our chapter phone number is on our website. That phone number rings to a number of people on the executive board. If on the first ring, I don't get it, normally Dave Johnson, our treasurer, is the fastest draw. He will get it and answer it, and the number does not change. So there's free things, no cost to anybody that they can do right now, today, that can help us, right? Number one, join our WhatsApp group. It is a one-way WhatsApp group. Okay, only 2 or 3 members of the executive board has the ability to put information out. It is not a group for back and forth. It is to disseminate information. There's no cat videos. There are no special Tuesday messages. It's just good, solid Calabar information. There's a QR code. I'll leave it up there for a couple seconds. You can scan that QR code. Or again, if you need the invitation, just send me an email and I will get that. There's a URL there. You can easily remember it. It's tinyurl.com. /cbar-WhatsApp. Okay. And for those of you, we don't send multiple messages a day. It's good information about what's happening with Calabar or Calabar, Sons of Calabar or students of Calabar. So that's one thing. Join our WhatsApp group. It will help us spread the word, okay? The second thing is our primary means on the social media is Instagram, right? It's CBAR_Florida_chapter. We have 348 followers now. I would like to see by the end of the week that we're up to 500 followers, right? And again, this is a primary information place there where we provide information. And then the third way, free of cost, is that 90% of the population here use in America, I think 90% maybe smaller, uses Amazon in some reason or for something or the other. Amazon, with free of cost to the buyer, donates 0.5%. It's a small percentage, but it's 0.5% of your purchase. And all you have to do is select, go to smile.amazon.com, or in your Amazon, you just search for Smile and it'll ask you for your charity. There are a couple different Calabar associations in there. You can pick anyone, but we are asking you to pick the Florida chapter as your charity, okay? And that does not cost you a cent out of your purchase. You don't have to add $1, nothing. And I ran the metrics, what we have, I think this is through maybe a year. It's $59, but again, it's only 14 customers. 14 customers, and I can tell you that about 10 of them are my family. My family, myself, 5 family and my sister's three. I know our former past president Bongo is on it. So the more customers use it, the more we get. Every mickle makes a muckle. Okay, and it doesn't cost anyone anything, right? So we, just for the folks, the uninitiated, we do have a membership model. And if you want to become a member, again, it's very easy, cbarfla.org/membership. We have we are too, a chapter without borders. We don't care where you are. It's not only a Florida thing. If you see value in our transparency, our accountability, and our convenience, use us. We have Sir Bolt in Texas. We have three folks in Texas. We have a couple lions in California. We even have Mr. Vance in Calgary. We have folks in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and of course the bulk is in Florida. We have some outside there in Austin, Texas, Phoenix, and I forgot to mention we have a lion out of Nassau that I forgot to put his pin in there, but we are a chapter without borders. Getting back to our membership levels, and how are we doing with time here? Getting back to our membership levels, we have these membership levels there. We have our basic membership level is a lion. We'd like to see everybody at the utmost member 61. We choose 61 because of 61 Radios Road. And even friends and family. We do have a green and black business membership. You can read more about it on the website. I wish I had more time to go into this because this is an area that, because of the work that the board is doing, we could not focus on this, but this is basically to promote our businesses, professionals, dentists, doctors, lawyers, whoever that are any profession, any entrepreneurs that either are old boys or their wives or their children have businesses, and in return you just offer them some kind of discount, and we will, you know, try to send business your way. Simple thing. It's we're not reinventing the wheel there. Again, membership is very easy to get. It's on the website, and we take multiple type of payments. So getting to our more of the state of the chapter, the board sat down, and this did take a few weeks of discussion, that we because of the appeals, we know that every appeal is probably worthy, but we have to decide on a strategic plan of giving. So after a few weeks of debate and trying to get everybody back on track, the board voted and approved this strategic plan of giving. We have those categories there on the screen with their definition that we are trying to stick to, or we're required to stick to, now that the board has voted. And in terms of the percentages, that for the amount of funds we raise, those are the percentages that we can dedicate to these various categories. Okay, and all of what I'm saying is in the annual report that will be on the website as soon as this meeting is over. And an advance copy was given to the Honourable PJ Paterson for his preparation, for him to see what we have been doing. This is just a pie chart showing the percentages. We decided that the majority of the funds we want to try to make an impact And so we reserve 70% of funds raised for a major project. These are a summary of the fundraising activities that we have had over the 2 years for the board's tenure. It's listed there. I won't go through the whole list, but we started in 2020, just after the elections in September, October, with a membership drive. We were able to raise close to $4,000 just on a membership drive. And following up with that, we had Giving Tuesday, and then we had our most successful end of year giving campaign, which is these two campaigns, Giving Tuesday and end of year giving, those are staples for nonprofits, staples that every nonprofit does. And Giving Tuesday is the Tuesday after Black Friday, where we're saying, the world is saying, give a little after you have spent a lot. And then the end of year giving is trying to make use of your tax deductions. So these are the various fundraising activities that we have had throughout the 2 years that the board has been in place. Again, if you are further interested or want to have a read, we will have the report on the website. And then the programs that we have supported over the 2 years. And it'll culminate with the major strategic project that the board has decided, and that was our, that will be the Calabar, Florida Health and Wellness Program, which we will be doing a press release this week or next week with regards to providing food programs, mental health help, and others. And we'll have some more details as the press release comes out. And as I promised, the 2020 report, the 2020 to 22 report will be online. I was trying to load it up this today, but I was busy preparing for our meeting today. So that basically concludes the state of the chapter. And I want to just conclude and saying the state of the chapter is good. It's better. We should always leave things in better shape than we have come. And okay, I'm just checking the chats. I saw a few chats. And if there are any questions, let's hold them till the end. I do want to get through thanking and recognizing a few of our supporters that are really outstanding and is worthy of mention. So we want to thank those folks for their philanthropy. Okay, and it's always difficult when you start mentioning names, but these have been standout. With the email is barely sent, and the help is delivered right away, without hesitation. And it says here the definition of philanthropy is goodwill to fellow members of the human race, and that's what basically we are all doing. And I just want to make special mention and a certificate of recognition for Leo Campbell for his altruism and desire to promote the welfare of others, expressed by the generous donation and continuous support to Calabar. And in detail, all Leo says to me is just make sure he says, I like the work, continue doing good, and he sees the evidence of the support. The board would also like to thank Charles Watkins, one of our biggest supporters, that in time, again, all fundraising drives, even pre-COVID, before this board came into being with other Calabar activities, Charles Watkins has been there. And again, Charles, I want to recognize you. I think Charles and Leo are online. I did get their permission to mention their names. Some people don't want to be mentioned, and some people don't mind it. So I did ask for permission, and we basically have to honor these folks. And before we came to the board, there was one person really holding down the fort for over 12 years as president. And for his tireless dedication and commitment and his unparalleled 12 years of service as president, we want to give a certificate of appreciation to Michael
Bongo
Slosh. I've done it for 2 years now, and sometimes it feels like 12. So for Bongo, and before that, Bongo was involved. He was an original signature to the current articles of incorporation. So I have to, if Bongo is online and wants to say a few words, I have to yield and ask him if he's online. If Bongo, do you want to say a few words, Mr. Slosh? Sorry. Not sure if he's on. Mr. Slosh? Okay. All right. I think I saw him on earlier. And so continuing with the recognition, I want to just salute some of our corporate partners that, again, sometimes I look to see who responds, who is quicker. They're all quick, ultimately, in terms of stepping up when we have put out a formal request for sponsorship or help. These 4 corporate companies, or companies actually, 2 owned by Calabar Old Boys, Dr. Jarrett and Richard Cousins of Cousins Surveyors, have always stepped up to the plate prior to COVID with our other subcommittee, the Class of 80. They have always stepped up to the plate and provided sponsorship. To the bigger corporations, Victoria Mutual, Florida Representative Office, and Suzette Rochester Lloyd has always been supportive, whether in sponsorship or in kind, for, again, going prior to this board. When we have asked, they have stepped up. We have partnered with them with 1 or 2 sessions on financial independence. And also, I'd like to thank Grace Foods USA, Mr. Derek Record, and Donna Kalinda, that they have provided either sponsorship or in-kind goods. When we have asked, they have responded. So Dr. Jarrett, we would like to appreciate you for being a continuous sponsor and aiding in our mission of supporting youth education at Calabar and, by extension, Jamaica. And again, these are the certificates. We will get them out to the corporate folks. Victoria Mutual, Florida, and Victoria Mutual Building Society, they call it VM for short now. Again, the Florida office, I personally have basically used that office to facilitate transactions in Jamaica. I encourage anybody, if they are thinking of dealing with anything in Jamaica, Victoria Mutual can help you out there. Cousin surveying, as I said, Richard Cousins would tell me that Calabar, being at Calabar, the years at Calabar was some of the best memories that he has in his life. So he is a willing participant in any time we have our functions. And Grace Foods, I have mentioned before, I won't belabor that. All right, just have a few announcements, The elections will, for all offices, there's a small error on the bottom. It says director of the 2010s. It should be 2020. Since we are in 2022 now, we have had at least one going on 2 years now of graduates coming since the 2020. So this summer was the second year. So you will have some old boys there. So all positions are open for nominations. You can self-nominate. More information will be coming out. We're looking for volunteers to be on the nomination committee. The only requirement for the nomination committee is that you are not putting yourself up for election. So it's basically to monitor the votes. The votes are going to be electronic through secure email or some other app. And nominations are open September 1st. So we're looking for folks to step up and volunteer their time. Since COVID, one of the good things with COVID is that we all have this online platform. So we have kept monthly meetings on Zoom or Google Meets. And we have had our monthly meetings from all corners of Florida or the world, basically. When folks are traveling, they're able, and if they're able, they will log in. So it does not take too much time. And it was a labor of love for me. And I will not be seeking re-election. So I will go into the role of immediate past president. But look for the information. If you want to nominate something, just basically send an email, send a message in any of our chats, and we will follow up. And we want to announce that the Florida Open, Calabar Florida Open, our annual golf tournament, which we partner with the Sons of Herb. We are back again for a second annual golf tournament. It's Saturday, September 24th. Last year was a decent turnout. We want to try to hit the 100-player mark. Please spread the word. The website, the registration is open. Right now, we will get the link out to everybody. And so that kind of concludes the state of the chapter and also the recognition for those that have helped us along the way. And again, on behalf of the board, and I will just get back to the board's pictures, on behalf of the board of directors, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and Where's the board here? And so Vice President Ralston Phillips, our Secretary Mohamed Nathan, David Johnston, our Treasurer, Director of the 70s, Winston White, Daniel England, Director of 80s, Chris Butler, Director of the 90s. We had vacant positions. We didn't get anybody filled. And our once President for Life, Michael Slosh, I want to thank everybody for their support and continued support. And I'm really looking for folks to help us, to help Calabar. You've seen what we can do. We're a trusted brand, if you want to call it that, and we will shepherd your resources to the right place. And with that, we're running over about 15 minutes. With that, I will close. And any of the board members want to say anything? Like to recognize anybody, any board members?
Carl,
Yes.
I just thank you guys for the support.
This is Dave. Could you
Yeah.
really know who this is?
Dave Johnson, treasurer for the past 2 years. Just want to thank everybody for the support and looking forward, to probably go back on the board in the future. So just letting you know in whatever position I can serve. All right, but thanks again. And thank you, Carl, for being there.
Great. Thank you,
All right.
David. And David, thank you, David. David has been a tremendous servant to Calabar and a tremendous source of resource for us in terms of his closeness from when he was on the ground in Calabar and back and forth between here and Florida and 61, and is a tremendous and has been a tremendous resource. So we thank you. I want to thank all the board members for stepping up and volunteering. You didn't have to, you did, and you did it for the love of Calabar and the love of giving back. And I'm just trying to appeal to folks out there to, to give back, because I can't say it more eloquent than the folks that have come. The Honourable PJ Paterson, he casts it as almost not even philanthropy, but an investment in the youth of Jamaica. All right, anyone else? Board or anybody listening? Any questions? Anything we haven't covered? Let me stop sharing now. And I think I recorded this, so let me stop sharing now. And any other parting remarks or questions before we go? Just reading some of the chats here to see if anybody has anything. Reverend Nielsen, thank for the invite. Ainsworth provided his email address, our PTA president. And again, so seeing none, I'll leave you guys if there's anything left of the under 20 championship and those who have access to the Commonwealth Games. I don't know. I don't have a link. Somebody link me up. The under 20 championships are on Peacock, so it's recorded. So I'll be looking at that. And so just tune into our
Carl,
website.
a quick thing before you go, Carl.
Who is this?
Me, man.
I know, but you have to identify yourself.
Yes, this is Ralston Phillips,
Yes.
the Vice President of the South Florida chapter
Yes,
for the Calabar Old Boy Association. I just wanted to say, Carl, specifically, thank you. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for your work. Thank you for all you have done in the past 2 years. David, I want to thank you as well. We have had back and forth. I know it has not been.
Brother, don't bother with it, all right. Brother, don't bother with it.
It has not.